Welcome back. Today we have a word that might surprise you as it did me. We have an interesting geographical-geological feature, an astronomical feature, a city, an iconic business, a creative, some space news, a song and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, and I'm already on water today. Settle in and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for May 15th. May 15th is the 135th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 136th in leap years, with 230 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Quasimodo. My first thought was, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that is correct, but there's more to it than that. The word Quasimodo exists both as a religious term and as the famous name of the literary character. It comes from a Latin phrase, Quasimodo Geniti Infantes, which translates roughly to, like newborn infants. The phrase comes from the Latin Bible, specifically from 1 Peter 2:2, and it was traditionally used as the opening line called introit for the first Sunday after Easter in the Catholic liturgical calendar. That Sunday became informally known as Quasimodo Sunday. The name became famous through The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. In the novel, the abandoned infant found at Notre Dame Cathedral was discovered on Quasimodo Sunday, so the church archdeacon named him Quasimodo after the feast day. Over time, many people came to associate the word primarily with the character himself, the lonely but deeply compassionate bell ringer of Notre Dame. In modern usage, Quasimodo is sometimes used metaphorically to describe someone physically hunched or stooped, or a social outcast, or a misunderstood person with hidden goodness. Because of the character's tragic nature, the term can carry emotional or literary overtones. Interestingly, an Italian poet, Salvatore Quasimodo, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1959, also carried Quasimodo as a surname derived from the same religious phrase. I'll try to remember to talk about him when his birthday rolls around later in the year. Today's word Quasimodo was suggested by YouTube viewer at Roberta Real 7980. Thanks, Roberta. And if you have a word you'd like us to look at in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments. We'll get it on the list. And with that, Cape Cod is said to have been sighted on May 15, 1602 by English navigator Bartholomew Gosnold. He called the area Cape Cod because of the enormous quantities of codfish found in its waters. Cape Cod is a famous hook-shaped peninsula that extends into the Atlantic Ocean from the southeastern corner of Massachusetts. The cape was formed thousands of years ago by retreating glaciers during the last ice age, leaving behind dunes, sandy soil, ponds, and marshlands that still shape the landscape today. Native peoples, especially the Wampanoag, lived there for thousands of years before European explorers arrived. Cape Cod also played a role in early American colonial history. In 1620, the Pilgrims first landed in Provincetown Harbor before eventually sailing on toward Plymouth. Over the centuries, the region became known for fishing, whaling, shipping, and lighthouse construction, helping sailors navigate the often dangerous coastline. Today, Cape Cod is famous for tourism, especially during the summer months. Visitors come for its miles of beaches, whale watching, fishing, boating, hiking trails, seafood shacks, art galleries, and quaint New England atmosphere. The Cape Cod National Seashore, established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy, protects over 40 miles of shoreline and preserves much of the Cape's natural beauty. Cape Cod is also known for classic regional foods like clam chowder, lobster rolls, oysters, and cranberries. Its picturesque scenery and relaxed pace have inspired artists, writers, musicians, and vacationers for generations. Cape Cod. On May 15, 1836, English astronomer Francis Baily observed something during a total eclipse of the sun. It is that as the moon covers the sun during a solar eclipse, the rugged topography of the lunar limb allows beads of sunlight to shine through in some places, while not in others. Francis Baily observed this in 1836 and explained the effects, and so it is that these phenomena have come to be called Baily's beads. Baily's beads may consist of a simple strand of beads like this, or a diamond ring like this, or rarely a double diamond ring like this. Isn't that something? The diamond ring effects are seen only when one or two beads are left, appearing as shiny diamonds set in a bright ring around the lunar silhouette. Baily's beads. The city of Las Vegas was founded in the state of Nevada in the United States on May 15, 1905. Richard and Maurice McDonald opened the first McDonald's restaurant in San Bernardino, California on May 15, 1940. Can you believe it was that long ago? They introduced what they called the Speedy Service System in 1948 and went to disposable packaging and flatware so they no longer needed a dishwasher, and simplified their menu to just 9 items: hamburgers, cheeseburgers, 3 soft drink flavors in 1 12-ounce size, milk, coffee, potato chips, and pie, refining their entire process to a concept based on speed, lower prices, and volume. Ray Kroc joined the chain in 1954 and built it into a global franchise, making it the most successful fast food corporation in the world. This is the birthday of English musician, composer, producer, and visual artist Brian Eno. Born May 15, 1948 in Melton, Suffolk, England, he gained international attention in the early 1970s as a founding member of the glam rock band Roxy Music, where his experimental use of synthesizers and electronic effects helped shape the group's distinctive sound. After leaving Roxy Music, Eno launched a solo career that blended experimental rock, electronic music, and atmospheric soundscapes. He's often credited with coining the term ambient music, especially through landmark albums like Ambient One, Music for Airports, which helped establish music designed to create mood and atmosphere rather than simply entertain. Beyond his solo work, Brian Eno became one of the most influential producers in popular music history. He's worked with such artists as David Bowie, Talking Heads, U2, and Coldplay, helping shape albums that pushed musical boundaries and introduced experimental ideas into mainstream rock and pop. Brian Eno is also known for his creative philosophy. He helped develop a set of creative prompt cards called Oblique Strategies, designed to inspire artists by encouraging unconventional thinking and happy accidents during the creative process. Over the decades, Brian Eno has come far more than a musician. He's often described as a musical thinker and innovator whose influence can be heard across ambient, electronic, punk, new wave, and even modern film and video game music, and is widely regarded as one of the most innovative figures in modern music. Brian Eno turns 78 in 2026. Happy birthday, Brian Eno. The final Mercury mission was launched on May 15, 1963. Astronaut Gordon Cooper was aboard that flight, becoming the first American to spend more than a day in space, and the last to do so alone, Project Mercury. If you've ever seen the 1984 David Lynch movie Dune, you might recognize this piece of ambient music. It's called Prophecy Theme, It's haunting yet inspiring and was composed for the movie by Brian Eno, Daniel Lanois, and Roger Eno, and appears as the 9th track on the soundtrack album. The instrumental soundtrack was recorded by the band Toto, accompanied by the Vienna Symphony Orchestra and the Vienna Volksoper Choir, conducted by Marty Page, father of Toto keyboardist David Page, and released by Polydor Records in 1984. If you haven't seen the original 1984 movie Dune, I'll just say it's one of my faves, and easy enough to find for streaming. Released in 1984, it's an American epic space opera film written and directed by David Lynch and based on the 1965 novel of the same name by Frank Herbert. When the new 2021 version became available for streaming, we watched both of them, as Mr. B hadn't seen the original one before. Prophecy theme from the Dune soundtrack by Toto and Brian Eno, link in the description. How about that? For today's quote, we actually have a short poem by someone we mentioned in today's episode, and it touches upon several other things we talked about. It is, "Everyone stands alone on the heart of the earth, pierced by a ray of sun, and it is evening right away." Salvatore Quasimodo. This can be taken literally or symbolically, can't it? Alrighty, y'all, take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. Oops, we need to be up here. Let's do that again.